Welcome in fire signs. Today is a special video. It's going to be a series focusing on each of the zodiac elements again, but this is going to be a deep dive into the psychological and spiritual blind spots of each element. And it's around hidden blocks and challenges that are keeping you stuck, whether it's in a pattern or just keeping you stuck in a mindset. And usually that means there's each zodiac or element, when it's in harmony, right, we are integrated, we are functioning as a whole energetically. But we have, there's pluses and minuses to each sign, to each element. But when we have some of these, some of the detriments of each sign or element, we can sometimes feel stuck or that we're in a cycle of resistance. So this is to help you gain some perspective on that. And especially this is going to be important for those of you that do feel stuck in your life, do feel a lot of resistance, or feel like you're walking through sludge. So this is a little different than your standard readings. I'm going to talk a little bit about the general blocks and then dive into each zodiac and give some points around what you may struggle with as a Leo, Sag, or Aries. And then at the end, I'm going to be doing a fire sign shadow reading. And we're going to also look at general blocks. Right now, we're going to tap into your energies to see what are your current blocks, your hidden reactions, and then at the end, the path to transmutation, or general guidance to overcome this. Okay, so generally, fire signs, you guys have a natural drive, and you are fire, right? So fire is about action, it's about passion, inspiration, creativity, and also ego. So you guys can, on the detriment, drive yourselves to burnout, or you can have impulsive reactions or energies which can create tower events in your life, especially when you're ignoring your inner guidance or doing self-reflection or have that awareness of self and how your patterns are playing out, or how you are leaning more on your detriment and how you can bring yourself back into harmony. Okay, so let's look at each here. We have Aries. Aries is the spark. So you could consider Aries being the spark. And Aries, in a shadow sense, your shadow can often manifest as impulsiveness or frustration, or overdoing, again, overacting, over pushing, trying to do too much. And it can sometimes lead to some like obsessive compulsive type behaviors. And especially when Aries feels stuck, they may try to force a tower moment or try to force things when they're not ready, which again, in some distorted kind of concept in the mind, can make you feel like you're pushing movement. But actually what you're doing is you're actually creating more resistance and also creating blocks to getting what you actually want. So this can lead to unnecessary conflict between relationships, at work. And that's where we want, Aries, you want to move from forcing things into flowing, right? Doing into being. And kind of that Aries can learn to surrender to the flow of life, surrender and trust that everything has divine timing and everything will play itself out, and using your current moment to connect to what you can do, what's in the highest and best good of yourself and others, to create flow and ease and to get to a specific goal or desire that is actually your highest potential timeline. Okay, so that's Aries. Leos, on the other hand, so Leos can be called the sun, right? The sun. As far as the shadow for Leos, the shadow can be around the ego, right? Because Leo is a lot about the I. And a lot of fear can come up for Leos, especially when it comes around your authenticity or being seen. You can have a lot of fear about not being seen, not being validated, or misunderstood. Okay, so this can lead to feeling creative blocks or creative sludge, where you kind of and Leos can have a lot of self-defeating beliefs or self-esteem issues, where you stop sharing your light, you stop being authentic, and you stop putting yourself out there, because you're afraid to be judged, or you're also, wanting external validation, but you're not getting it, or it's coming in a negative aspect for Leos. So Leos are vital at its core and its wholeness, want to be authentic, want to be themselves, and want to be seen as themselves. And they want to be seen and validated. And they also want to be able to create from their heart, from their souls. So Leos, coming back into harmony, need to also work with those belief systems and those fears to gain confidence in themselves by not requiring the external world to validate it, but they just are able to show up no matter what the external world is doing or saying or thinking about what they're doing. Because again, right, in the external world, not everyone's going to love you. Not everyone's going to, like what you have to offer or express or create. But that's the beauty of life, and we're all different, and there's diversity. And you are going to find your people who do see you, who do want to be connected with you or want what you have to offer. And then lastly, we have Sagittarius, which we can call the torch. And Sages, on the shadow side, a Sag can often deal with restless escapism, I can call it. Resistance hits, and a Sag might want to run toward a new path. They might are in that fight or flight energy. Rather than doing deep work on themselves or taking accountability, and get out of this fight or flight. And also Sages can often, through escapism, just, want to have fun all the time and not focus on the tactical things in life, the day-to-day routines, the responsibility, and might lean too much into just having fun and escapism and spending too much money. But this is about a Sag coming into harmony and realizing that they can have both, and that actually they can approach life in a way that, they're able to accomplish and do day-to-day things and also have fun and be okay with multiple timelines and not always having to run away from themselves or from others or situations. So those are just some general things about your shadow sides for each fire sign. Obviously, there's a whole bunch of other things, but I just wanted to hit high level on some general things for all of you to think about. And so let's get into the reading now. And I'm going to do a general like I always do. I'm going to pull some oracle cards, and then I'm going to look at the 3 different kind of sections that I talked about: blocks, hidden reactions, and then the path to transmutation. So let's just get some high-level cards for fire signs generally on this shadow reading. And we can call it the smothered flame for you fire signs, because essentially what's happening is, you know, when you are at your highest potential, when you are in harmony, you are being able to be in that energy of that fire. But when you're at the detriment, what's happening is your light is getting dimmed or your flame is getting smothered. We can look at where your energy is being mismanaged or suppressed, and also identifying why you feel stuck or feel like you're just walking through quicksand all the time. So here, let's go ahead and get started. All right, purification, yes. Right on, purification, breakthroughs, I like this, and vitality. Look at the sun. This is you, fire sign. So, and I want to also clarify that this reading is for this now moment. So we're tapping into the general collective of fire signs right now and getting some the information of what is kind of priority and what's impacting you right now. This is general, but it's also, it's not like this whole too general where we're not looking at what you need to know right now, okay? So I like this breakthrough in the middle because this is like, to me, a progression here. So what you're being asked of right now when it comes to helping you through these blocks or patterns that are smothering your flame, there's this purification piece here. And I do feel like what's interesting with purification here, it shows the river. So what I'm picking up on is there's some need to kind of balance with your emotional body and do some cleansing when it comes to your emotions. I feel like there's some stuck emotions for fire signs. And when your emotions get stuck, again, this creates some distorted kind of acting out, or you kind of your detriment aspects coming out more, or you being more reactive. So there's something where you really need to sit with your emotions and work through acknowledging your emotions and accepting them and allowing yourself to feel them. And I feel like there's an emotional breakthrough that's currently kind of, you're in the midst of this, especially with this eclipse season. And what this is doing is the breakthrough is going to bring you more vitality. It's going to clear these blocks and allow more light and happiness and peace to come in for you. We have the ladybug, balance. Yes, that's very important. I mean, that's the key, right, to these shadow aspects. And listen, foxglove. So I think you need to listen more to what is going on in your heart space, in your emotions. So, you know, with fire signs, I also feel like when emotions get too overwhelming, the fire signs tend to react in more maybe aggressive, angry, tower moments, controlling energy. So there's almost like a listening to what these parts of you are asking of you. And so if the anger is coming up, listening to the anger, asking the anger, what is it that you need? And a lot of times, right, we're being triggered by the external world, but we're coming into balance and realizing that we can provide ourselves what we need. And also, we can't accept that everything or everyone in the external world is going to give us everything that we need at every moment. And it's also something, too, to identify what are these environments or relationships as well that are also shadowy, that are karmic, that are also creating the imbalance in our lives. All right. So let's look at first the blocks. So these, we're going to pull some cards around your blocks and look at and identify anything specific you need to be aware of that is currently preventing your fire from burning brightly and for you to come into balance, okay? And I'm actually going to pull one oracle. So we have magic. You know, and this to me, some blocks are also allowing yourself to open yourself up to the impossible, allowing yourself to realize that there's divine energy and that everything's not black and white is what I'm hearing. What else for what is currently preventing fire signs from balance? We have the Empress. So there could be mother wounding, specifically for those of you watching, mother wounding here. There's also a feminine, divine feminine imbalance of energy here. So I think whether you're male or female watching, whatever it is, I feel like you tend to push away the feminine energy. And this could also be tied to a mother wound, or just generally you have a distorted view of the divine feminine energies. Maybe you see very feminine energies as weak, or you just don't know how to access those energies, which is obviously the surrender, the intuition, the nurturing energy within yourself. Ace of Wands and the Fool. I also feel like there's a creative block here with the Ace of Wands showing up. This is about divine kind of, this is the spark of life here. And I feel like you are blocking yourselves from your passions, your desires. It's almost like you have lost your passion for life. You've lost your desire. The things in your life, or maybe a lot of the things or specific things, are not igniting passion. They're not igniting desire, and they're not inspiring you. So this could be relationships. It could be your job, the type of work you're doing, or maybe you're just not tapping into your soul's, what your soul is guiding you to do. Maybe that's hobbies, creations. What are things that light your fire that you love to do? Doing more of that. That's going to also help you get unblocked as well. But there's definitely a lot of spiritual energy coming out in these cards with the Magic card, the Empress, and the Ace of Wands. And I just feel like there's a lot of disconnection with your intuition and your higher self. And this is getting back, trying to connect back to your soul, back to spiritual, the spiritual essence of you and of life. And not taking things so seriously. Taking a risk. Taking leaps of faith right now and trusting in the universe. Not everything doesn't have to be organized in black and white, and it has to look a certain way. And it's all of those types of mindsets that are creating resistance to the flow of life. It's creating resistance to, feeling things like fun and adventure and excitement and passion. So this is what's really creating the sludge for you. It's creating the resistance. And it's learning how to, work with some of the guidance that I just said to help you shift and create more balance in your life. So that's the first. This is about the blocks. So now we're going to look at the hidden reactions. So what is the impulsive kind of shadow reaction that you are having because of this block? And how might this be creating chaos in your life instead of constructive change or forward movement? There was a lot there. So let's see. What does the blocks reveal is kind of the basis here. How is this showing up for you? How are the blocks kind of almost manifesting out in your reactivity or how you respond to the external world? So we have vast vistas. So for some of you, you could tend to be runners or want to run away from things. So there's two aspects here. Some of you may find yourself as runners. You tend to run away from conflict. You tend to run away and try and hide from the blocks. But some of you actually are not allowing yourself to, explore and expand. You're very constricted. And life is calling on you to see life as this broad adventure, that there's so many opportunities and things you can be doing. But fear, too, if you deal with a lot of fear blocks, it's going to stop you from experiencing life. It's going to stop you from going out there and trying new things. And another thing coming up from this card is there's this hawk. And birds, especially hawks, were used as messengers. And birds are also messengers of information from a divine perspective. And I also feel like your shadow is also distorting messages that you're getting. Your higher self, your guides are trying to communicate with you and help you, but you're also almost like you're blocked off from the information coming, your intuition, and you need to kind of work with that energy. Because I just feel like, why are you so shut off, or like you're almost like protecting yourself? There's like a protectiveness, and that could be a coping mechanism because of your blocked energy. Okay, we got flyers, 3 of them. 5 of Cups. We have the Knight of Pentacles and the Death card. Wow. So your shadow reaction here, what's interesting here is I feel like a root of this is some sort of, right, the cups are your emotions. So, in the Oracle, we talked about emotions really coming up as a key important thing for fire signs right now. But I feel like potentially you went through something very difficult. You could have went through a tragic loss in your life, a relationship ending, something really triggering you. And it almost like spun you emotionally into some sort of turmoil, depression, sadness. And you're kind of repressing a lot of this energy. This is kind of what your reaction to your blocks. This is your reaction. And why are you creating chaos, or you're manifesting things that are keeping you stuck? And another thing, because of your emotional body, you're dragging your feet. To me, that is an outward manifestation of how you react or respond to life. Is you're not. It's like you may want things to change, but you also, a part of you doesn't want change because you're afraid. So you're dragging your feet. You're dragging your feet. You want progress, but you're just kind of in the steady eddy, slow moving, because there's really some fear holding you back. And then ultimately here, what happens here, I think you are creating a lot of endings in your life because of your reactivity. I think you definitely need to go through this like death and rebirth process, and you could be going through that right now. But something could have ended pretty badly for you, which has been blocking you. And that could be also a natural kind of coping mechanism where you tend to maybe start jobs or start relationships, but they don't last that long. You tend to end things pretty quickly when they don't go exactly as you want them to go. And lastly here, let's see what the path to transmutation is. So this is the solution. This is going to help move you out of these kind of reactivity mode, these blocks. So let's see here. The light, yes. So the light is calling you. You have your fire is your divine creative power. And I think the light card is asking for you to connect more to your higher self, to your spiritual guides, and using your connection and asking for support and assistance. And this could be doing more meditation. This could be trying to channel more, get messages, just even sort of doing visualizations, seeing the light come through you, helping it clear and purify any darkness within you or your densities. And let's pull some tarot. Okay, these three wanted to come out. We have the Wheel of Fortune, the Four of Pentacles, and the Five of Wands. Yes, there's a lot of resistance, and it's coming from internal. It's coming from yourself. So if you feel like there's a lot of resistance in your external world, in your life, or conflict happening at the current moment with certain people, family members, love relationships, work, opportunities, it's almost like you keep trying to get everyone to see your side or get what you want from life. And it's just, again, resistance. But this is about what's being called out to you is this is just a mirror of what's going on internally. You're kind of fighting yourself. You're fighting yourself, fire signs. And a lot of it has to do with this Four of Pentacles of you're really, there's an energetic protection that you've put up. You're trying to protect yourself. And in this, putting up this energetic like armor, you're also resisting things from coming in for you. And you're also kind of mirroring out you're magnetizing people and situations that are also kind of creating resistance for you. So you do have at the root some sort of fear or mistrust with life in general, and you're constantly trying to maintain a sense of stability and security. And this can really manifest out as you not wanting to change. This is also the same as this Knight of Pentacles, as dragging your feet. You could have procrastination. You could be a big procrastinator. But the solution here is, I really feel like in the month of August, in September, and the rest of the year, this is that Wheel of Fortune. So there's opportunities here that are going to open up for you, that your soul is going to be putting in front of you to help you, give you opportunities to get out of these type of patterns and dynamics and to shift and clear the resistance. So this is really interesting. You have very spiritual divine energy coming out with these two cards. And another kind of, I think, guidance here is to get out of your comfort zone. And you can kind of practice this every single day by even doing little things first, like trying to shift out of your daily, like, hardcore routines. I talked a lot about like Aries in general, but like there needs to be these like routines and these kind of like obsessive behaviors of things need to be the same, stable, in your comfort zone. But we need to get out of the comfort zone to overcome these sort of patterns here. I'm going to get one more card here about overall guidance for air signs currently to help you. King of Swords, Nine of Swords, lots of swords energy, and Justice. This is about balance, balancing, especially when it comes to your mental body. So what's interesting, I feel like, fire signs really, when you're in your harmony and your balance, you guys are the most connected to your spirit through your passions and desires and being spontaneous and really being in the moment. But there's too much in the head. It's like there's too much anxiety or overthinking things. So I also feel like you need to really prioritize balance in your life. Whether if you're overworking too much or just doing too much, or you overthink everything to a fault to where you never make any progress or get anywhere. These are things that you really have to be highly aware of. and take full accountability for. And when you start to see yourself in these patterns, you know, that's where you can start to change how you respond, how you react. But I think here that Source and your higher guides are really going to be helping you at this time and moving forward, because this is a pivotal time where we're reprogramming ourselves. We are clearing any energetic blocks. We are identifying patterns, belief systems that don't serve us anymore. And one of those things is reprogramming your mind. So if you notice yourself saying really negative things about yourself or being highly critical, you can be, again, this is about being highly aware and really tuning into yourself in every single moment, because that is where you can start to like if something negative comes up or critical, you can contradict that by saying something positive that contradicts the negative. For some of you, I also feel like the Nine of Swords can be about a reoccurring nightmare or like a Groundhog's Day. And I also feel like this, some of you, it's because of the environment you're living in. It could be a relationship, a job, a living environment. But I just feel like you, because it's your comfort zone, but I feel like this is not a good place for you as well. That's going to be conducive to helping you also overcome and resolve, again, your stuckness. Because I feel like for some of you, the stuckness, actually a lot of you, is going to also do with the choices you make, the people you're around, the energy you allow yourself to stay in. But justice season is here. I feel like there's some major momentous shifts for you by Libra season, which is the end of September into October. So there's going to be a lot of changes happening, especially in your inner world, the next kind of 2 months here. All right, fire signs, I hope this type of reading helped you. I think it helps give some good perspective, and especially right now, people have been feeling stuck and really feeling that urge and that motivation to make some changes and to get unstuck. All right, fire signs, you have a great week, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye for now.